like this.
Okay.
And so getting it like, and there's a, yeah, those ones are pretty much ready, but I can, and then before, I'm going to dump some corn on the, yeah, those ones are all ready. I'm going to dump some corn on the table for people, but what we're looking for is we're looking for stuff like this and not like this. So what do you think is the difference? That is actually a good point. But there's another thing that's different between these.
The size.
That one has a lot more.
Yeah, but I took them off of this one.
Oh.
But
The
size, yeah. So this one, if we count it around, there would be 8 rows on it. If we count around on this one, there's going to be. Why don't you go find? If we count around on this one, there's probably going to be, I don't know, 16, a lot. And then there's also dents in this one. So what that is telling me is that this one probably got a little bit of cross-pollination from corn that they grow for cows and other stuff. And so this one, we won't save this one for seed, but we can make a little pile of that right there. But this one is good, and you see all these other ones are like that too. So now, after having said that, I'm going to just take this corn.
Oh my god.
Oh, good catch. We won't do all. Let's do about that much.
Okay, so
Let's
we're
take.
going to pile of small and big.
Well, these ones that we're not going to do, we'll put there. But the ones, no, that's a good one. So then what we're doing, and then see, this one's got those little dents in there. That one we'll put right there too. That's a good one. But what we're doing though is it's hard to braid it. We want it like this. And so how we're getting it like that is we are going to either we can just pull these ones off. We only want to have about 3 or 4.
Do you want to keep the bottom ones?
The bottom ones, yeah. And so see, and then that little piece right there, I'm going to take these loppers and just clip that.
Well, I kind of snapped it.
Yeah, and this is kind of dry, so we want to be kind of careful with it. We've got a bowl of water over there. What's going on? Good. Yeah, okay, but and then just be really careful with it. And you can, take it down again to like 3 or 4 of these husks, and then we'll make a nice pile right there. And then you can use this to clip off that end right there. I just went through your neck of the woods today. I stayed in Plover last night, and then drove straight across on 54 to Black River Falls through Wisconsin Rapids. And nice drive. I've got a.
What if I accidentally broke one off?
That's okay. Save them though. We'll need those for later.
Oh, there's bugs on the thing. Well,
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's perfect.
So Dan, while they're working on that, do you want to share a little bit about who you are and your story and the story of this corn?
Yeah. Could I get that clippers? I'm Dan Cornelius. I'm a member of the Oneida Nation, and I work with tribes extensively on food and agriculture. We started up Tribal Elder Food Box, the Great Lakes Intertribal Food Coalition, kind of a version of a cooperative. But we're running this Tribal Elder Food Box program, and this corn's actually going to be seed, but I've got a whole bunch more of this corn that's going to get turned to hominy, and we're putting it into the Tribal Elder Food Box. And it's going to be the first time that we've had dried hominy in those boxes for our elders. We've been getting a lot of requests for it, and working on making it happen. But this is a Red Lake Flint corn. As you can see, it's got a lot of diversity to it, different colors. What we're doing is we're selecting only for 8 row So if you count all the way around, there should be 8 of these rows. Not like, this one's got a little bit of, we won't save that one per seed. This one here, ooh, that's a nice looking ear. Probably might save this for, actually no, I see some dents in there. I wouldn't save that at all for seed, but it still looks pretty nice. We'll save this one for eating. But this seed this year, this corn was grown at Anderson Park and managed by Rooted in Dane County Park. But we did about a little bit more than 2 acres of this corn there this year. And I hand harvested a bunch of this and then went through with a combine and harvested the rest. And yeah, we're just getting this all ready to braid. And
Can we move the leaves over there just so that?
let's move the leaves. We're gonna want to keep some leaves over here. But yeah, if you get them out of the way, or if you need to put them over there, you can. But we will need them when we're braiding. They're going to be the handle for our braid.
Good to know.
And so yeah, we'll get all of this ready. And I don't know. Do you think we should get a few more now that we got through these? You can move those other ones if you need to.
They're careful.
So Dan is here at our community meal. We're doing this in community with a bunch of students and people who've come to our meal.
You could on this, but
My
yeah.
husband's a farmer and this is his first year, but he did it. He studied honey and ground and masa now.
Mm-hmm.
And we've definitely got this one. And one of the red ones, and then we've got a full blue one too. So he did the full blue for what he was working on.
Oh, cool.
And it was really tasty.
Cool.
He made a hominy soup and then
Yeah.
ground the corn.
Did you dry it or you did a wet grind on it for?
He did a wet grind because he did soak it all in the lime
Okay.
for nixtamalizing.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to use wood ash, but
Yeah, we tried to use wood ash, and last year we tried to do it, and we messed it up enough that I had got some pickling lime for cucumbers this year, and he was like, "I'll just try it for the first round with pickling lime and see if I can do it."
Mhm.
We kept messing up with the wood ash, and we actually have like ash. We mostly burn ash.
oh, for yeah,
But
ash.
it's a good one for the nixtamalizing.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of use whatever I got.
Good.
That one, yeah, that one looks like it's got more than 8, but we'll keep that one. It looks nice. But yeah, so then part of why we braid, now this corn's we're in November, so this corn's already been harvested and it has been drying for almost 2 months or close to 2 months. I pulled the ear, I kind of pulled the husks back and dried it. And I was thinking we were going to need some water, but we might not even. But once this is dried, shelled off, as I said, we'll make hominy. Part of the reason why we braid, though, is for storage and for being able to get it dry, and especially when you harvest it in the field and it's wet. It's it's a really good way to be able to store it and dry it. But right now we're doing it more just for education and showing the process. And we, so my tribe, one of our main corns, we've got a lot of them, but at Oneida, mostly people grow white corn. And the white corn is really big. The ears on it would be maybe up to that big, maybe even a little bit bigger. And this is a nice ear here. Imagine a little bit bigger, and imagine 65 of them.
Wow.
Braid so big, you're holding it like that. I wouldn't even be holding it like that. I'd be holding it like this. And we might have lost that one. Save that for some seed, but we lost the husk on it. So am I going to braid, or are you going to braid?
Show us.
I can show you.
Show us.
Okay.
I have not braided.
And we may, some of these are kind of falling off. We may get that water, but I don't like to use the water unless we really have to, but it kind of makes it a little bit softer, so these don't fall off quite as much. And I have a bunch more of this stuff, so if you guys want to do another one of these, we can try to, if it's helpful, we can.
Okay.
It's just, it is like the best thing, the easiest thing is to do it right when they come out of the field, because these aren't all brittle.
Yeah.
Oh, were you? Did you eat any food? Do you think you're going to be hungry later if you don't eat now?
My grades aren't too bad.
And you have your own farming project too, right? Do you want to share a little bit about your farm?
Yeah, I got, so I've got, at my home farm, I got 51 acres. I grow just small things of seed corn there, but I do vegetables, and then I've got cattle, so I do them rotational grazing. I have some chickens, some goats. Goats eat brush, and yeah, just kind of diversified operation. And then I've got a couple of leases of where I grow corn, another lease where I do hay, and then make maple syrup. This year was the first year in about 10, 12 years I did not harvest wild rice. I just had a little bit too much going on. What you found? Oh. Oh, well, why don't you ask if you could try some?
It might be one of the soups. Our students made 21 different kinds of soups. Is it in a soup pot over there?
We just put it in this over here. No, this isn't ready to eat. Okay, are we about ready to, should we try to braid or should we get some more people before we braid?
I think let's go for it.
Okay.
People might be kind of.
So before we start, let's, we really want to kind of carefully kind of squeeze these together and kind of twist the whole thing, because we're going to use this to, so you know how to braid. Have you braided just like regular braiding?
Yeah.
With 3 strands? It's the same thing, kind of. But yeah, we get it all ready first, and
Do we have to do all of them and then we start?
I would. It's, yeah, yep, that's perfect.
You did fantastic, Uncle. We're so proud of you.
This, and taking the time to do this, that's when you get your really nice braid that hopefully stays together really well.
I forgot to ask, what is the point of braiding?
So yeah, the point of braiding, the main reason historically is storage. You can dry it, but then imagine you have a whole field of this. Where are you going to put it? And so for my tribe, I'm Oneida, and we are part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, or Iroquois. Haudenosaunee, that means people of the longhouse. And we lived in these really big longhouses that were really tall, almost like the combination of a barn and a condominium, or a barn and an apartment. And every family would have their little space in there, but we'd hang the braids from the rafters. And so, it was basically like our barn and our house. And yeah, so it would make good sense for a good place to store it. And letting it dry out, maybe get a little smoke there, keep the bugs out. But that's a good question. And then today too, that's what a lot of people, they braid to be able to dry it. And I braid a lot. I also use greenhouse. This was just dried on a screen in a greenhouse, and have it drier too. Do you want to help? Okay. Do you want to? Can you tell her what you're doing?
Okay, so we're just like carefully grabbing them and twisting them. Okay, carefully. Careful, because not yanking it out. We may or may not have
Yeah,
I can
that's all right.
see that that's not. Some of those we did have to take off, so they're not all loose. Do not push on the table. The table cannot handle it. None of the tables can handle it.
No, they do not.
Pick it up a little bit over there. Pick it up a little bit. And like on the leg. Take the other leg. Take the other leg on this one. The one close to you. Did you get it?
Okay, we're going to try doing this without using the warm water. The warm water helps to get it, kind of make these not as brittle because they're so dry, but I think since we did this, we'll just be real careful and see if this will work. And so the first step of braiding is you find 2 ears. Did you find some food? That is. So we find.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say I'm shorter.
So we find 2 ears with nice husks, and we'll see if this doesn't work. We may just get some of that water. This is kind of the most difficult portion. So what I just did is I took 2 of them, and I made an X like this, and then I'm just going to kind of cross it over, almost make like a knot.
Like that?
Yeah, but you probably want to get that a little bit more, maybe.
Rolled up.
Rolled
Yeah,
up.
rolled up. And it might be a little bit too much husks on those
Yeah.
ones. So see that you can see that's why we took some of those husks off. It was too thick, and so made a little X like that. And then I'm going to take the third one, and I'm just going to put it right in, and then cross over.
This is like a tutorial and I'm scared.
And so again, be real gentle with this because these are kind of dry. But so I crossed over, now I've got my 3 strands, and just like normal braiding, but I'm gonna take the next one, and I'm just kind of put it in, and I cross over, and then I'm gonna take another one. And so every time that I cross over for braiding, every time I cross over, I'm gonna add another one in.
Okay.
You see how I'm adding?
I see it. I don't get it, but I see it.
So I crossed over, and now I'm going to add one in.
I've lost my house. Uh-oh.
Here, you guys should take a break. And oh, you got that one. That's looking good. But so I'm going to cross over, and then I'm going to take one and add it in. Cross over, and add one in. But I'm going to stop this one, and then you can use these ones for working on braiding those.
Oh, yeah, I definitely know what I'm doing.
Sammy, you're a crafty kid. I bet you can do it.
Yeah, no problem. Are you Brittany?
Yeah.
I'm Dan. Yeah.
Many years later.
Yeah. Okay, so how I started that was I took 2 of them, and I kind of make an X like this, and then carefully kind of flip that over. And so this is locking it in. If you don't do this, it'll unravel from the bottom. And then I just take a third one, and I put it in, and then cross. You know, then you got your 3 strands right there.
Oh, we did not get enough here for that. Wait, so what was the point of those?
We'll need those in a minute.
Okay.
Are you ready to?
I think so, because we're out.
Okay. Now hold this one up. Hold this one up a bit. And I think we may have a little. See, hold that one up. I think you mostly. Oh no. So they're unraveling. See, and that's okay. So let's start them again, and I'll show you the little. Yep. Yep. I'll show you the little trick here. And this is the thing, is like people do this, and like, why does my braid stay together? And that's the thing is right here. So you can see right there, I've got that locked in. And I'm going to show you again. So you take 2 of them, and again, this corn is so take 2 of them, and you make an X, and then just flip it over, just like kind of making an overhand knot. And then you take your 3rd one, and you add it in. And then you cross over and start braiding. Locking it in at the bottom like that, that's what's going to keep it from unraveling.
I got it. I messed it up.
Yeah. Let's try it again. Take 2. Okay, yeah, grab them like you're going to braid. And then, yeah, make your X. And then, yeah, flip it. Kind of like, there you go, kind of like that. But, and then get your other one. Yeah, that would work right there. And then take your 3rd.
How many do you usually put in a braid? How many usually?
Oh, I kind of just put as many as as I feel like. I mean, and usually I'm doing this and doing a demonstration, and so I'll just do a little one. But if I'm gonna do a bigger one, I would do it as long as the table, because why not? But you gotta have them all ready to go. That's the key, is taking that time. Yeah, and if the husks fall off, that's okay. We'll just put them in the basket.
Oh, I'm getting the hang of it. Oh, I jinxed myself. Watch me.
Yeah, that's really good.
You can knit.
Could you stop?
And then when you're ready to finish, then I can show you the next little trick.
You picked that up really quickly. What the heck?
Shady's got skills over here.
Okay, do you want to see how to finish these?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh
Ooh, Sammy!
It's not done though. You're not finished.
Oh no, there's more.
Okay, so this is why we save these, because now you just keep going and you add it in the other way. Add it in from the bottom. Just and just keep adding them in and keep on going.
Oh, watch me. I'm gonna be so speedy. Oh, never mind. Oh no, never mind.
And so this is you're making your handle. So it's just like making a long tail, and you keep on going till it's long enough, and then you can just wrap it around. And I'll show you when you get there.
Did you hear who invented this?
No, I wasn't paying. When I'm focused on something, I don't listen to anything else.
So Dan was talking about the history of this with his tribe.
Yeah, the tribe, but like, who was the first person out of that tribe?
I don't know, someone a very, very, very long time ago.
Bye, Alice. Get home safe. Don't die. Here, wait. So I wrap it around this way. You were like this. And we imagine going over with If anyone is watching this and they are from this tribe and they're seeing me mess up, I would like to apologize in advance. This must be painful.
There's only one way to learn, and that's by doing it.
Okay. You want to keep adding it? You got it, Sammy. Yep.
Finish it? Okay. So then we add more of these in. Right? Add more.
Yep, keep adding the husks in.
So we need, especially one for this one, maybe, like line it up, just like
I'm
you
not
do
good
with
at adding. Not in math and not in here.
Yeah, like fold it in as part of it. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, Dan, for bringing in your corn and for showing us this. This is really cool.
There's other things then that you can do with the husks. For these braids, after the corn would be taken off, then you've still got that braid, and you can kind of coil it up and make rugs out of it.
Wait, do we braid inward or outward? Or does it not matter?
Whatever way is the easiest for you.
Doesn't matter.
I do, I guess, overhand with mine. But then with the husks, you can make flowers, you can make dolls, you can make rope, you can do a bunch of stuff with the husk. You can use it to start fires. Yeah, keep going. Keep going though. You're not quite done.
How do they know when they're done? How do you know when you're done?
You got to wrap it around to have an actual handle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'll show you how to do that.
Ways to go.
I know this is when after you're doing a really big long one and you're working on your handle. Like, all right, my hands are getting tired, but that's when you got to just keep going and just get it done. And then start looking if you think you're almost ready, where it's long enough that you can wrap it around. Then start looking for some really long husks, because you need them long enough that you can braid back through the strand, and I'll show you what that means in a second.
Oh yeah, we gotta finish this food so we can show us how to finish this off.
Yeah, braiding corn. Who knew?
See, like that's a really nice one for your handle. Okay, I think that's long enough. Now let me show you. Here's the next thing, and people get confused on this. You're going to braid right through there. So what does that mean?
Yes.
So take it and put your braid, right through like that, and then keep braiding right. Get it really tight and braid right. Just keep braiding. And keep going all the way to the end until you keep going a little bit more. Okay, right about there. Now, that happens. Okay, and then just tie an overhand knot, and take it down to 2 and kind of twist it. Yeah, kind of like, there you go. And then just tie a little knot.
Oh my god.
Did she do it?
Mine didn't break. I'm like so confused. Because I was confused. And also, I
There you go.
The other kernel. Okay, ready? Am I gonna do it?
The short one.
This is like kind of balloon.
That should hold.
Almost.
I got this.
Which way? Oh, do you want it to be the middle one?
I don't know.
Focus so much on the tree.
I think
And so then maybe in the near future, people saw this. Maybe we could show how to make hominy corn or something else. Hominy or making mush flour. That's kind of the next step, is how do we actually eat this corn? Because, I'm probably not going to take this and just eat it like that. Not at this point. It's a little bit hard.
So how do you make hominy? What's the process?
Oh, I did it.
Ooh, you did it!
Wow.
What?
That looks nice. And so if you did that about 3 more times, imagine if these things weren't so brittle and dry, it'd be a little bit easier. But so how we make hominy is we would take this, we would get it all shelled off. I did a dinner a couple weeks ago, and I brought some of this corn in, and we by hand shelled it all off, and then once it's shelled off, you put it in a pot. Back in the day, it'd probably be a clay pot. Today, I use stainless steel, not copper, not anything reactive. But put it in a stainless steel pot with water, bring it up to a boil, and then after it boils for a little bit, or you could even soak it overnight, then I add hardwood ash in, and I sift the ash in advance and then put it in. You also can make you can mix it into some water in advance and kind of stir it, and then let all the sediment settle down to the bottom and pour it in. But we put hardwood ash in, stir it, and then 2 ways to do it. You can either let it boil for 10-15 minutes, and then just take it off, put a lid on, and let it sit overnight or for several hours. Or you can just keep boiling it. Either way works. I prefer to let it just kind of steep overnight. And then after that, and so what's happening, and you put this in, and those kernels are going to turn like really like a deep gold, and that's when you know it's working. If they turn gold, you know it's working, and then you after you let it cook or sit, then you take it out. I use like wire baskets and rinse it. You want to rinse it really good. If you can kind of rub the hulls off. It's what we're doing is we're de-hulling this corn. On this corn, there's a little coating. I think they might call it a pericarp. And so we're trying to get that off, and little like eyes on there, trying to get them off. And so then we'll boil it in clean water. We might need to clean it a couple of times. Boil it in clean water, and then eventually it's going to puff up and kind of start to split open. And that's making hominy. If we're going to make masa flour, we would just not cook it quite as much and then grind it.
Gotcha. Yeah, we were learning from Angel and Leticia Flores how to do the nixtamalizing, and that was to make the masa. So
Yeah.
we need to hear the hominy version.
And it's based hominy masa is the same thing. It's just cook times, and then for the masa, you can either do a wet grind or you could dry it and then grind it. Either way will work. And then the other thing that we do, so this is a flint corn, and the flint corn it's harder, and versus a flour corn is going to be softer. It's going to be more like white all the way through. This is going to be more clear all the way through, and you can use this to make a flour. The flour corn is going to be a little bit softer, easier to grind, and so I should have today, if I didn't come straight here from getting a flat tire on my trailer, I would have brought some canigas or butagans or corn mortars, some big log corn mortars, and use it to grind. And the kids love that. It's a really good activity. But the braiding is the first step of getting out of the field, get it dried down, getting it ready to eat. Another thing is we also eat green corn. Green corn is what people would think of as sweet corn. And obviously we want to harvest that before it gets all dried and hard like that. But that's another way to eat corn. You can also eat the stalks of the corn, and you want to get it when it's kind of tender. And a lot of this indigenous corn will send off shoots or tillers, and you can clip those tillers, and then you can cut them open, and it's just like a bamboo shoot. And you can slice it and eat it in salads. You can eat the silks of the corn. Actually, we see some silks right here. You can make tea out of that. And the Navajos down in the Southwest, they'll actually collect the pollen, and you can collect that pollen as well. So lots of different ways to eat corn, and there's some other ones too, but that's some of the main ones. Oh, I was going to say though of mush flour. So especially in the flour corns, you would take the kernels and parch them, roast them, and then take the corn mortars and grind it, and that's what we call mush flour. A similar thing for cornbread, kind of stolha. That's what we call cornbread. Same thing, except it would be nixtamalized on that. So that's getting that binding effect. One other little thing is you can nixtamalize wild rice. And when you nixtamalize the wild rice, it gets really, really sticky.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the dinner I did a couple of weeks ago, we made some wild rice crackers, and we nixtamalized wild rice for part of those crackers. So if you guys are interested, maybe we could look at doing some cooking workshops.
That would be really fun.
In the future.
Yeah,
It's a little bit easier to do the cooking workshops at this time of year, the corn. And again, I mean, we did the bowl of water, and probably it'd be easier to soak them first. But I don't know, that's a pretty nice braid right there.
Will you tell us how to finish it?
Yeah. Okay, so you're pretty much there with that. Now you want to just bend that down and braid. You just want to braid right through that strand. So yeah, take it, kind of put it right through and get it as tight as you can on there, and then just keep braiding right through there. Yeah, I think you're ready to braid to finish it.
Well, thank you so much, Dan. And yes,
Yeah.
you're welcome back anytime. So yeah, let us know. But thanks for sharing and thanks for coming out. And I'm sorry.
Well,
about
and
the
I wanted to do,
tire.
this was my first corn that I harvested this year,
Yeah.
but I wanted to do the corn that was grown at Anderson Park.
Yes.
And, but yeah, at this point, it's
Connect it. It's a
it's
little
pretty,
dry.
it's pretty dry.
Yeah.
Even like holding this up, like right after you know, right after it'd be harvested, and if you would braid it like this, it'd be probably at least twice as heavy
Yeah.
as what it is now.
Well, we will match up our seasons a little better.
Yeah.
But I think this is a really cool thing to show these students. And the corn is just beautiful.
I should just send you get the menu of what we did for that dinner, because some of those dishes we did. So that first course was the wild rice cracker. You want some help there?
But I kinda did it.
Oh, here, hold that. You got it. Nice job.
Yeah, nice, Femke.
There's no flaw, no mistake.
Oh, you're too heavy.
So the first course was a wild rice cracker.
First course we did white peppery hummus and stinging nettle pesto with the wild rice crackers. And so hummus was just like a normal hummus, except used the peppery beans and then used sunflower seeds instead of tahini. And then the wild rice crackers, nixtamalized the rice, and then did some just regular cooked rice, and then mixed the rice, the cooked rice with the blended, the nixtamalized rice, and then it was really sticky. Added in that cooked rice and took some sunflower seeds and had roasted them and then mixed that all in together. And then we just put it on some sheets, baked it, kind of like cookies. You know, you don't want to cook cookies till they're all dry.
Out, right.
Yeah, and so pulled it when it was still kind of, uh-oh. You were getting pretty close there.
To the end of the road.
You can always try again. And also, if you also could try putting it in some water.
Try putting it like putting mostly this.
Just But yeah, so those crackers, then put them on some baking sheets, baked them, and then pulled them out after maybe about 10 minutes. And unfortunately, we didn't have a pizza cutter. That would have been the easiest thing, but I used a knife and kind of cut them into cracker size, put them back in the oven to cook a little bit more. Yeah, that was the first course, and then we did a bunch of stuff. We did a Three Sisters salad. We did a wild rice risotto and served that with buffalo short ribs, braised short ribs. We also did this is a good one for this time of year, we did sunchokes. We did Lake Superior whitefish with sunchokes. The whitefish was dusted with a little bit of cornmeal. And then for dessert, we did a blue and white corn pudding and chia seed pudding with a walnut cream frosting.
Wow, that is quite a menu. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 5 courses.
Wow, it's a lot of work too.
Guys did that at 7 Acre.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, 7 Acre Dairy or Creamery.
Well, yes, you're invited back to cook with our students or community anytime.
I
In
do
all
it.
the spare time that you have, Dan.
Yeah. Well, I do it for my classes. We do cooking and to nixtamalize the corn is a good one, and then the rice. That's kind of a whole different thing that most people don't really think about doing.
I have never even thought of that.
Mm-hmm. Is it easier when it's a little bit wet?
Yeah, definitely. Do you think so, Tyson?
Well, thank you so much, Dan. Super appreciate you taking the time. I know you
course.
have so much going on.
Oh yeah, we can. Oh, Good job.
How many corns are you gonna have total?
All right, everybody out there watching, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.